The cold wind swept across the empty streets of the human colony, carrying the faint hum of distant machines. No one noticed the small figure that appeared near the edge of the city, a young alien girl with wide, glowing eyes and skin that shimmered under the pale lights. She looked around nervously, her small hands clutching a torn blanket she had brought with her. Every step she took seemed louder than it should, echoing in the silent night. Her heart beat fast, not from fear alone, but from the strange mix of hope and doubt that filled her chest. She had traveled far, far from her home world, leaving behind everything familiar. She had heard stories of humans, of their kindness, but also their fear of the unknown. Now, standing at the edge of the colony, she wondered if any of those stories were true. The tall buildings towered above her like silent giants, their windows glowing like stars, but offering no warmth. She walked slowly, careful not to draw attention, yet hoping someone would notice her. Soon, she saw a building with a sign that read, "Orphanage," its lights dim and its doors heavy with age. She approached cautiously, her small feet dragging through the dust. Inside, children laughed and played, but as she stepped closer, the sound stopped. All eyes turned toward her, and whispers filled the room. "She's different," a girl whispered, hiding behind her chair. "She doesn't belong here," another voice said, sharper and colder. The alien girl tried to speak, but the words she made sounded strange to human ears. She lifted her hands, hoping to show she meant no harm. But the staff frowned and shook their heads, their eyes full of doubt and fear. "We cannot take her in," a stern voice said. "She is not like the others." The girl felt her chest tighten, the first real sting of rejection. She had hoped for a place to stay, someone to care for her, but the walls seemed to push her back. Tears formed in her glowing eyes, but she blinked them away, afraid that crying would make things worse. Slowly, she backed out of the orphanage, each step heavier than the last. The streets outside were quiet, too quiet, and shadows stretched long under the flickering lights. She wandered through the empty alleys, unsure where to go. The city felt huge, overwhelming, and she felt smaller than she had ever felt before. Every corner she turned, every shadow she passed, seemed to hide something unknown. Her stomach growled, reminding her that she had eaten nothing for a long time. But fear kept her moving, fear of being seen, fear of being caught, fear of being alone forever. Suddenly, she sensed a presence, a figure standing at the far end of the alley, watching her silently. Her eyes widened, but she did not run, something about the figure felt different. Not threatening, not cruel, but calm and patient, waiting for her to make the first move. She took a small step forward, her curiosity stronger than her fear. The figure stepped into the light, revealing a human man with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "You don't have to stay out here alone," he said softly. The alien girl froze, unsure if she could trust him. Her heart whispered that maybe, just maybe, this human could be different. And for the first time since she had arrived, a small spark of hope lit up inside her. The city seemed quieter now, the shadows less threatening. But the night was still long, and her journey had only just begun. The next morning, the alien girl returned to the orphanage, hoping someone might change their mind. She stood at the heavy wooden door, her small hands gripping the cold handle. Inside, the children stared at her again, their whispers sharper than yesterday. "She doesn't belong here," one boy muttered, turning quickly to hide his face. "She looks strange," a girl added, her voice trembling with fear. The staff gathered in the main hall, talking in low voices. "She cannot stay," the head caretaker said, her eyes cold. "She is too different from the others, too strange." Another staff member nodded, frowning. "We have rules. We cannot risk taking someone who does not understand our world." The alien girl tried to explain, her voice soft and high-pitched. She moved her hands, showing she wanted only to stay. But the humans did not understand. Every gesture, every sound she made seemed wrong, frightening to them. One child even pointed and cried, "She is an alien." The girl's heart sank, heavier than ever. She had traveled across the stars, searching for safety. But now the one place she had hoped for seemed impossible. She walked to the corner of the hall, sitting quietly, trying to make herself small. Her glowing eyes lowered, hiding her sadness from the world. Some children peeked at her, curious but scared. One small boy slid closer, offering a piece of bread. The alien girl hesitated, then accepted it, her hands trembling. For a brief moment, someone cared, someone understood. But the staff quickly noticed, pulling the boy back, shaking their heads. No touching her. You must stay away. The alien girl felt a sharp sting of loneliness, sharper than hunger. She wanted to cry, but she did not want to give them the satisfaction of seeing her sadness. Slowly, she rose, leaving the orphanage behind. The streets outside were quiet, empty, and her footsteps echoed against the stone walls. She wandered aimlessly, unsure of where to go next. The city seemed larger and colder than before. The lights flickered, casting long shadows that danced on the walls. She remembered the kind human from the night before. His gentle eyes, his calm voice, the feeling that someone could understand her. Perhaps he could help, she thought, a small spark of hope warming her chest. But hope alone was not enough to calm her fear. Every sound made her jump, every shadow made her heart race. She wondered if she would ever find a place where she truly belonged. A place where humans and aliens could live together without fear. Her glowing hands clenched, holding on to the tiniest thread of courage. From the shadows, she heard footsteps, soft but deliberate. Her eyes widened, and she froze, unsure if this was another threat. The footsteps stopped, and a familiar voice whispered. You are not alone. The alien girl looked up, seeing the same human from before, his eyes kind and steady. For the first time since she arrived, she felt a sense of safety. Maybe, just maybe, her story was not over yet. The night stretched on, full of uncertainty and fear. But the alien girl walked forward, guided by a small light of hope. She did not know what awaited her. But she knew one thing for certain, she could not give up. The alien girl wandered through the quiet streets, her small feet dragging on the rough pavement. Her glowing eyes flickered with a mixture of fear and curiosity. The city seemed endless, a maze of towering buildings and shadowy alleys. Every sound made her heart race, but she could not turn back. She had nowhere to go, and the orphanage had already rejected her. Suddenly, a soft voice called from the darkness. Hey, are you okay? The alien girl froze, her eyes scanning the shadows. She did not know if this was another person who would chase her away. Her glowing hands trembled slightly, but something in the voice felt different. Not harsh, not fearful, but calm and gentle. A man stepped into the faint light, his tall figure casting a long shadow. He had kind eyes, soft but strong, and a faint smile that made her feel safe. I saw you at the orphanage, he said quietly. You don't have to stay out here alone. The alien girl hesitated, unsure if she could trust him. She had been rejected so many times already, and hope was fragile. The man knelt down, keeping his hands where she could see them. I can help you, he said gently. You don't have to be alone anymore. The alien girl looked at him closely, studying his face. Something about his presence made her heart calm for the first time in days. Slowly, she took a small step forward, her curiosity stronger than her fear. The man extended his hand, and she stared at it, unsure if she could reach out. After a moment, she carefully placed her tiny hand in his. It was warm and solid, and a strange sense of comfort washed over her. For the first time, she felt a connection with a human. Someone who did not judge her by her glowing skin, her alien features, or her strange voice. Someone who could see her as herself. The man smiled, sensing her hesitation. You don't have to speak if you don't want to, he said. We can take it slow. The alien girl nodded slightly, feeling a small spark of hope inside her. Maybe this human could be different, maybe she could finally have a friend. Someone who would care for her no matter what. They walked together through the quiet streets, careful not to draw attention. The alien girl looked around at the glowing lights and strange machines. Everything felt new and strange, but she felt safe with him by her side. He offered her a small piece of bread from his pocket, and she took it, smiling faintly. It was a simple act, but it felt like kindness she had never known before. As they reached a small alley, the man spoke softly. "I have a place you can stay," he said. "It's not far from here, and it's safe." The alien girl's glowing eyes widened, hope and fear mixing inside her. Could she leave the orphanage, the only place she had ever known? Could she trust a human after all she had been through? She looked up at him and saw nothing but patience and understanding. Her heart whispered that maybe this was her chance. Her chance to escape the loneliness, the rejection, the fear. Slowly, she nodded, taking his hand once more. Together, they began walking toward the unknown. The city stretched on around them, full of shadows and secrets. But for the first time, the alien girl felt hope. The night was still long, and many dangers awaited. But with the human by her side, she knew she was no longer completely alone. And as they disappeared into the quiet streets, a new chapter of her life quietly began. The alien girl and the human moved quietly through the empty streets. The city was dark, and the shadows seemed to stretch like long fingers. Every sound, the distant hum of machines, the scuff of their feet, made her heart race. She clutched the human's hand tightly, unsure what dangers might be waiting. The man gave her a gentle squeeze, a silent promise that he would keep her safe. They turned down narrow alleys, avoiding the main roads where guards might be. The alien girl's glowing skin made her easy to spot, but the man kept her hidden in the shadows. She watched the buildings loom above her, strange machines humming inside. She had never seen anything like this world, and a small thrill of adventure mixed with fear ran through her. Suddenly, a noise echoed from behind, a sharp shout from the orphanage staff. "They know we are here," the girl whispered, panic in her voice. The man nodded calmly, grabbing her hand. "We have to move faster," he said. They ran through twisting streets, leaping over crates and dodging strange vehicles. Her small legs moved as fast as they could, her heart pounding, but she did not stop. As they reached the edge of the city, the alien girl saw the first signs of safety, a small hideout, hidden behind tall metal walls. The man led her inside, shutting the heavy door behind them. She sank to the ground, exhausted but relieved. Her glowing hands trembled as she realized she was safe, at least for now. The hideout was small but cozy, with simple furniture and soft light. The man offered her water and a small meal, and she ate hungrily, savoring every bite. "This is your new home," he said gently. "You can rest here, and no one will hurt you." The alien girl's eyes filled with tears, but they were tears of relief. For the first time, someone had truly cared for her, without fear or judgment. As she sat quietly, exploring her new surroundings, she noticed small human objects, a book, a toy, a blanket. Everything was strange, but she felt a spark of curiosity and wonder. She picked up a small toy and turned it in her hands, laughing softly at the strange sound it made. The man smiled, watching her, glad to see her beginning to relax. For the first time since she arrived, she felt a sense of belonging. But outside, the orphanage staff had discovered her disappearance. They were angry and determined, searching the streets and calling out her name. The girl felt a twinge of fear, knowing that they might come for her. The man placed a hand on her shoulder, steady and reassuring. "They won't find us here," he said confidently. "You are safe with me." The night stretched on, full of tension and uncertainty. But in the hideout, the alien girl felt something she had never felt before, hope. She realized that even in a world that had rejected her, there were humans who could care, who could protect. And as she curled up under the soft blanket, she whispered quietly to herself. Maybe I can have a life here. Outside, the city remained dark and dangerous. But inside the small hideout, a new story was beginning. A story of trust, friendship, and the first steps toward belonging. And the alien girl, once alone and rejected, was ready to face whatever came next. The alien girl slowly adjusted to her new life with the human guardian. The small hideout had become a safe place, and every day she learned something new. She learned human words, simple gestures, and little things like how to eat food and play with toys. The human watched patiently, guiding her with kindness, never rushing, never judging. At first, she was shy, hiding her glowing skin and alien features. But the man encouraged her gently, saying, "You are special just as you are." His words made her heart feel warm for the first time. She began to smile, laugh, and even share stories of her home world. Though she spoke in broken words, he listened carefully, making her feel understood. Over time, they explored the nearby city together, cautiously but with curiosity. The alien girl discovered her own abilities, small things she could do that humans could not. She could sense emotions, hear faint sounds, and sometimes glow brighter when happy. Instead of being afraid, the human saw these abilities as a gift. He helped her learn to control them, teaching her that her uniqueness could be celebrated, not feared. The alien girl met other humans who were kind, children who were curious and playful. She learned how humans and aliens could live together, share, and care for each other. Slowly, she felt a sense of belonging she had never known. No longer lonely, no longer rejected, she was part of a family that valued her for who she was. One evening, she sat by the small window, looking at the glowing city lights. The human sat beside her, offering a quiet smile. "You are safe now," he said softly. The alien girl nodded, her heart full of gratitude and hope. She realized that even in a universe that could be harsh and unkind, there were always chances for love and friendship. The orphanage and the people who had rejected her were far behind. She had a new home, new friends, and a human who truly cared for her. Her heart no longer felt the cold emptiness it once had. Instead, it was full of light, courage, and the excitement of a life yet to be lived. And though challenges might come, she knew she would never face them alone. Humans and aliens could connect, care, and protect one another. And as she curled up for the night, glowing softly in the dim light, she whispered to herself. "Maybe, the universe is not so lonely after all." The city slept around her, quiet and still. But the small hideout shone with warmth and hope. The alien girl had found her place in the world. A new beginning, a life of safety, love, and friendship. Her journey was far from over, but she was ready for it. And in that small, quiet room, a lonely alien girl had finally found her home. The stars above twinkled, as if celebrating the start of a brighter story. White heavy checkmark highlights of Part 5.